Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to show you how I painted this cow using only 6 colors. It's super simple. I'll list the colors shortly and you can follow along if you like. Please let me know if you have any questions and I'd be more than happy to help. Thank you.
Just prepared some MDF board by applying gesso and then putting a light wash of some burnt sienna on top. So now I'm going to go ahead and start sketching. I'm just using some crimson because it's really transparent and it's good to kind of sketch in. So I've just mixed this crimson with some Liquin Original just so that it dries quite quickly and it will blend nicely with the colours I'm about to layer on top. And I'm just kind of planning where I want everything to be, making sure that my subject is taking up the majority of this board. And it's okay to be quite loose, kind of raising things, moving things around just until I'm happy with the placement of everything. I also decided to use quite a limited palette just so that everything blends together quite nicely. I like to do this especially with my studies so that everything is quite cohesive. I'll also list the colours in the description as well if you want to follow along with this tutorial. So now I'm just blocking in my sky. I've mixed together a little bit of Ultramarine Blue with some burnt sienna, keeping the mixture very light and blue toned as well, just to add some atmospheric perspective. And then as I go down and add more hills, I'm adding a little bit more Ultramarine Blue and burnt sienna, still making sure that I keep it quite blue toned as well, just to push it quite back. So as I'm creating the color for the trees, I am actually just adding a little bit more burnt sienna and yellow ochre to my hill mix, just because with atmospheric perspective, generally the blues are more far back in the picture, the red tones are in the middle, and then the yellow gets added to the foreground. And this is mainly because it creates atmospheric perspective quite nicely, and with this specific painting, I wanted the background to be a little bit out of focus, and that way when I paint the cow in lots of detail, you can see that it contrasts quite nicely with the background. Now for the bushes in the foreground, I am darkening the value. I'm also adding in a little bit more texture with my brush strokes as well. Right, now I'm starting on my cow, so I'm just mixing in a little bit of burnt sienna with some ultramarine blue to make my shadow colour for the cow, and I'm just blocking that in to my dark areas and kind of mapping out where all the values are going to be. I'm also adding in a little bit more yellow ochre for the top of the cow where I want the light to be hitting, and just making sure that the value there is going to be a little bit more light in comparison to the rest of the cow. For now, I'm not too worried about the white part of the cow, so I'm just making sure that I knock it back with some Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Sienna as well to make quite a nice neutral grey. And right now it looks quite white in comparison to the rest of the cow. But that's because I want to be very sure with where I'm adding my lights later on. And I'm kind of just moving the paint around now, figuring out the structure. I wanted this particular piece to be quite loose, and yeah, it's just a study. I'm just playing around a little bit with the values, making some areas a bit darker and a bit lighter. I've also started to add a little bit of red oxide because it's quite transparent, and I'm just adding that in some areas where I think it needs to warm up a little bit. This was my first time actually painting a cow, so I've just used the techniques I've learnt from landscape painting and applied it to this. I'm quite happy with the turnout. This is also my first YouTube video, so please let me know if you like this tutorial or if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!